So we're on the way to Frenchman's Cap. Last night, well yesterday, my plane was cancelled, so it meant that by the time I got here it was about 5 o'clock, 5:30, which meant I had maybe 30 minutes of light. So, call me stupid, I decided to camp out, thinking that the few sprinkles of rain that were coming would probably come and go as they did on the way. Unfortunately, that wasn't quite true, and although it wasn't heavy rain, pretty much rained all night. Compound things, I bought a tent the other day and didn't have time to put it together before I came out. Consequently, I was putting up a tent in the dark that I'd never put up before. Also well, it ends well, but cut a long short story short, I actually broke the tent poles because I didn't have them in the right holes. But it was good enough to hold it together, and that with my trusty sleeping bag kept me moderately warm last night. I guess it was very interesting that the technology now, that even though the tent got pretty wet and probably even sodden through, didn't really drip at all on me, and my sleeping bag as well as dampish, but didn't really take away from the warmth, and so I feel lucky. I'm hoping not to have to stay out in the wild because it's pretty wet at the moment. However, after spending a few nights at Ralston, even in a van at less than 1 degree, it's probably a good, I don't know, 6 degrees, and it's not too cold. I'm probably reasonably wet through, but already, but it doesn't seem to make much difference. Just sort of things cling on to you, and away you go. As he pulls up his pants. So I'm just climbing up the first part. I believe I get to the peak, and it opens out onto the plains. The plains are affectionately known as Sodden Loddon, because it's 6 kilometres of mud. Now, since it's raining, it'll be interesting to see how muddy it really is, because it's been raining a lot. I'm hoping that I get to Frenchman's Cap and it lightens up. The good news is, good and bad news, the 2 people whose car was in the car park came past me last night, so essentially I have the whole place to myself at the moment. So good for solitude, possibly bad if I run into any trouble. However, with my trusty EPIRB, hoping that's not going to happen. Anyway, seems probably like it'll be a little bit the same, and you've probably got a really good idea what it's like for the moment. So when the landscape changes, I'll come back and do more.